Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. My my brain just turned off. My throat is catching up to me from singing and screaming at a concert. I'm tired. I have yet another Fall Out Boy shirt on today because why the heck not? Quite a few of my Fall Out Boy shirts are actually in storage currently, but that's okay because you guys know we're clearing the house out. Clearing the house out. I really need to make more of an effort to clear out this room and put some yarn up for sale. Shout out to the government for furloughing my husband. Yeah. He didn't get a paycheck until the government gets his crap together and votes on a budget. We go through this every year. It's so much fun. He will be home in a little bit because the government is shut down. In case you don't know that. Cheers. I'm not worried about that at all, but that's what's going on today. Also, I forgot to tell you guys in yesterday's video, we had a visitor in our front yard. And it was a pretty cool visitor. If you are in the Facebook group, you already know about this visitor, but I'm going to warn you if you're afraid of snakes. It was a snake, and I'm going to show you a picture, so avert your eyes. I have to actually find where the snake picture is because I don't know where it's at in my... This phone has like 8 million folders. And it's like, oh, you screenshot it, it's going to go over here. But, oh, no, wait, you put it over the... Like, I just need to go to Recents if I can find it. Recent. There it is. All right. Give my camera a minute to adjust. This was in our yard. Yeah. She's a pretty big girl. In case you don't recognize that, it's a python. They are not native to Virginia. They are... This thing was gorgeous, and I'm so jealous that I wasn't home because I probably would have went over and picked her up and played with her. She was beautiful. It was really cold outside, so she was snakes kind of go, they get a lot slower when it's cold outside, and so she was like moving, but she was in slow-mo, and she even had one of our black squirrels like messing with her, like trying to screw with her. She was beautiful. We posted all over the place. We posted in the Ring app. We posted, one of our local stores, the Battlefield Country Store, actually reposted our post from the Ring app saying, come get your baby if you found her. Hang on. I'm going to show you a video because we did have an officer out to catch her. And he was super nice. And see how slow she wasn't huge. She fit in a coffee can. I mean, it's a big coffee can, but she looked way bigger in the picture. I have no doubt that she's someone's pet. And I'm not showing his face because I do have videos of him on the other cameras on the front of the house. But come on, trying to zoom in. She was very slow moving, which tells me she was in fact trying to conserve energy. And my husband, who is not a snake fan, is the one who discovered her. Which was quite entertaining to me because you could see his camera skills. He was shaking a little bit because he doesn't like snakes. I go catch the snakes. I was so excited. I was driving and I'm trying to look at the pictures while I don't use my phone when I'm driving. I'm not good at it. And I know this, so I don't touch it. And so I was trying to look at the pictures. I was like, oh, it's a baby. And then I was showing Juju. I was like, look at, there's a snake in the yard. Now, if you guys are new to Cinnamon Stitches, I am going to get to the yarn review, I promise. But like, I wanted to tell you guys the snake story because it was super exciting to me. And I immediately I was like, okay, did you call animal control? And he's all, yeah, they have an officer out on the way. I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, can you like find out where they're gonna what they're gonna do with the snake? Because obviously they're gonna look for the owner, because it was clearly a pet. It was well taken care of. I think she actually recently ate, because you saw how fat her stomach was. Like, she looks like she just ate a couple of squirrels. I don't know what she ate, but we do have lots of things in this area that she could eat. There are rodents in the area. There are squirrels in the area. There are lots of like lizard type creatures in the area. There's other snakes in the area. There's a lot of little dogs and little cats in our area. And I hope that someone's pet didn't get eaten, but it's a possibility. First thing I was like, lock the dogs in, because I have a small dog. And then I was like, you need to let the neighborhood know, because he already knew all this, but I was just, you know, covering my bases. Like, hey, you gotta let the neighborhood know. So we posted it in the neighborhood community. He called animal control, and the officer was very, very nice, helpful. And he said that if the snake is not claimed by its owner, that they have a program through the sheriff's office, which I found really fascinating and cool, because I have worked with you guys know the story that I adopted and fostered through Old Dominion Humane Society here in the area. But I also, Oreo came from the Spotsylvania animal shelter, which is what animal control works through. And so I have worked with, I fostered Oreo first, then I adopted her, you know. And so I have experience with that shelter as well, and with the animal control officers. And so it was kind of cool. He was telling Mr. Cinnamon about the program that they have, that if they come upon a unique animal like that, it doesn't get adopted out. They have a program to where he will visit schools and he will educate kids on those type of animals, and it helps to build a rapport with the officers, which I think is really cool, because, you know, police officers can be scary, especially in like certain neighborhoods, certain areas. We're taught to fear policemen, and I think that them having a program that helps to bridge the gap and create community connection, I think that is really fantastic. So that was kind of a cool little thing that happened at my house. Now the point of this video is that I told you guys yesterday I went to Michael's while I was in Ocean City. And I think the Michael's I went to was actually in Delaware. No, it was in Berlin, Maryland. So if you live in Berlin, I visited your local store. It was actually a nice Michael's. The people were super friendly. It was not like my local Michael's, which the people are snotty, rude, the store sucks, there's never any yarn. Like, it was not like that at all. It was well stocked. There was so much. Let me show you, because I took pictures. There was so much Big Twist on the shelves, which makes me want to go visit my local store and see if they have Big Twist, because I highly doubt it. They had... where's the photos? They had all of these colors of Big Twist, which is more than I've seen at any other location. They had all of these of Big Twist, and there were some loops and threads mixed in. I think that bottom row is KC. Right there. There's some Caron Simply Soft in there, it looks like, but that was Big Twist. On the other side was their revamp of the Posh. This is a better picture of that same aisle. That same thing. And then this was Big Twist mixed in with loops and threads. Because Michael's is trying to push that loops and threads is the same as the Big Twist value. It is not. I felt them side by side. They're not the same yarn. But that's okay. Alright, so I did show you guys this creepy Gurumi book. Now, I paid, I think, $19.99 for this. Yeah. And Michael's does not take coupons off of books. But Joann's didn't either. So this was $19.99. I paid $19.99, but it's my souvenir from my Oceans Calling event, which was fantastic, and I had an amazing weekend. But we had talked about that yesterday. So I wanted to go through, I wanted to show you a couple of the patterns in here that I'm really interested in making, and then I'm going to show you some of the yarns I purchased and the crochet hook, and we're going to turn the camera down to the desk, and I'm going to show you some of these yarns worked up. I'm going to work up swatches, and I'm going to talk about my feelings on them. I'm really excited about the Skyscape because it's really soft and it's beautiful, but I'm worried about splitting, and I'm worried about the yarn not being able to be frogged properly. And I'm also worried that it's gonna look muddy when I work it up, which means the colors kind of muddy together. All right, so this creepy Gurumi book is 14 kawaii amigurumi crochet, creatures to crochet, and it does have an author. It is Medalinon Soledad Iglesias Silva, okay? Which is a mouthful. Especially this early in the morning, and I don't have any soda. Alright, so you can see this one interests my daughter immediately. I want to make the bunny, it's a bunny puss, it's an octopus bunny, and then I'm really interested in her, because if you don't know, my husband and my kids are Mexican, and I love teaching them about their culture. I love teaching them about traditions, and she reminds me kind of Mama Imelda from the movie Coco, which is Miguel's grandmother, great grandmother. No, it's Coco's mom. So it was his great grandmother or his great grandmother or something like that. I think he says great grandma, because I think Mama Coco is his great grand. Anyway, in case you don't know, my last name is Rivera. In Coco, they're the Riveras. Except they make shoes. I don't make shoes. I mean, I could crochet some shoes. Alright, so it's got some really cute patterns in it, which I know that's hard to see unless you're on your TV, but I'm going to point out the ones that are my favorite that I'm excited about. Okay, so they have a little Vampirina looking doll. She's super cute, but she's not at all my favorite, but she's cute. She's really cute. This one is, she's an octo bunny. Not a bunny puss, but I mean, bunny puss sounds funnier. She's cute, and I think she would be even cuter. The shirt, I don't want to make her a shirt. I just want her to be naked with this cute little octopus bottom and a bunny top. I just think she's freaking cute. She's a little weird. I don't think I would do their eyes the same. The eyes in this book are very traditional for kawaii style, but I really much prefer either crocheting my eyes, because these eyes are felt. I either prefer crocheting my eyes or using actual safety eyes. This guy is really cute too. It's a red devil bear. I just think that would be so cute for Valentine's Day. And then my daughter wanted the Grim Reaper, which I think is really cute. And I kind of already know how to make him because I made the little ones from the Woobles kit. And then they have a ghost, snow ghost, which is not my thing. I didn't like that one. And then they have La Catrina, otherwise known as Mama Imelda. And she's going to start singing, what is it? La Llorona, Llorona. Yeah, I love that song. I actually have it in my playlist. Look how cute these little marshmallows are. They're little morbid marshmallows, but you could make them non-morbid if you wanted to make marshmallows on a stick. So it says she uses mercerized cotton in a lot of these. You could use anything. And then what else does she use? Place a drop of glue on one of the ends of the barbecue skewer, or a chopstick would work. Or a dowel. I would probably use a dowel because it doesn't have a sharp end. And then you use the skewer, or I would use a dowel for the stick, which makes sense because it'll keep it sturdy, right? It shows you how to make the stick. The marshmallows have an actual tube in the middle of them, which sounds tedious. Still, it's cute. It's cute. And then we have a green devil bear. That looks like a green frog devil bear. It's got eyes. It's still cute. And then they have a spider donut, which I think is weird, but my daughter likes, so I will probably make her a spider donut at some point. I mean, there's other stuff in there, but those were the highlights I wanted to show you. Alright, so I have shown the macchiato cakes on the channel before. I have the pink and the orange one over there, which I'm not going to grab, and then I have this one, which I purchased, and this one is the color Atomic Aqua. I already have a sample worked up of this. This is allegedly a bulky weight number 5. It recommends a 6mm crochet hook. 5mm, I think, is what I used. Okay, so this is not actually marked for size. So we're going to take that into consideration when we review this crochet hook from Loops and Threads that I also purchased during this. So this is what it works up like in a granny square, which I think is really pretty. I think it turned out really nice. I like the way the colors kind of like, it reminds me of Puzzle from Premier Yarns in the fact that the colors fade from one color to the next. There's not breaks. So I like that, but there is wool in this yarn. It's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. You can smell the wool and you can feel the wool for sure. And it's also a really fuzzy yarn, so it is really hard to frog, and I know because I tried. And I actually had to cut a piece out because it would not frog. So if you're going to buy this yarn, I would suggest an easy pattern that you're really familiar with, that you don't think you're going to need to frog out, because you're going to end up wasting yarn. And I think this yarn is really good for, it would be beautiful for corner to corner or a basic granny type situation where the colors just kind of fade. Now some people are not going to like this because the lighter is more on one side and the darker is on the other side. That's just the nature of this yarn. But if you work this corner to corner or straight up and down, it will have a more smooth transition and the color works up. That's another example of the way it works up on here. This also kind of this sample right here reminds me of Coffee Shop from Premier Yarns, which was not a bulky weight yarn. But it worked up very similar to this, as did the Spun Colors, which I think Spun Colors might still be available on Premier. I'm not positive on that. But when I was in the hotel, what I really wanted to do was start an Amigurumi, so I started the Bunny Puss, thinking this would be a really cool Bunny Puss. So I have the head, and I stopped there, and I have not finished the head, and I probably need a smaller hook for something like this because there are some holes and gaps here which I'm not real happy with. I can see through the bottom of it, and I don't like that I can see through the bottom of it. But I think this is going to be really pretty worked up as a bunny puss. An octo bunny. I'm calling it a bunny puss, okay? It's a bunny puss. So, that is the Caron macchiato cakes. Keep in mind, there's wool in it. And you can feel it and you can smell it. Like I said, that yarn does not frog very well. It's not real soft. You can feel like the tackiness of the wool and you can smell the wool. And it's also on the expensive side. I just had my receipt. Set my yarn on it. It retails for $12.99. And I had a 30% off coupon. It was 30% off one item. So I saved $4.50. I only paid... No, that $4.50 was off of the thing I bought for my son-in-law. Alright, that was a better deal anyway. His thing was more expensive. I saved $2.60. I got, because I also had, I had a 30% off one item and I had a 20% off of everything that was regular price. So I 20% off of that. That cake regularly $13. I paid $10.39 for. And then I got this cloud cake. Groovy cloud cake. Isn't that pretty? This is in the colorway Candy Bowl. This is 100% polyester yarn. It's machine washable and dryable. It's 8 ounces or 720 yards of a 4-weight yarn. So there's quite a bit of yardage here. You could make a shawl out of this. You could probably make a child's sweater out of this very easily. It's really, really soft. I have no idea what I'm going to make with this. Because it's polyester, it's got a beautiful halo on it. It's fuzzy. I just don't know, but it was really soft. That's what it says it works up like, which I think is very beautiful and patterned. So this would probably be really beautiful either knit or single crochets, because the single crochet or the knitting it will definitely show off the self-patterning effect that they claim this yarn has by that sample. Now, it's also really soft. I'm not a huge fan of polyester yarns for like hats or anything because there's zero stretch in them, so they're not real good for hats. Maybe if you knit it, it would work. The scarf is beautiful. Maybe a baby blanket. I don't know, but we are going to absolutely go down to the table and work up a swatch of the Groovy cake because I bought Groovy cakes on clearance. Not Groovy cakes. So these are the original cloud cakes. I got these for $5 like 2 weeks ago or something. And I was shocked at how soft these were. They both say they're a 4-weight. They are a thin 4-weight. We'll talk about that when we work it. Now, when I saw this for $5, I was like, all right, I'll buy it. The colors are pretty. It's ridiculously, like, I want to lay on it. It's so soft. It's like a pillow. This one is more self-striping. That is a really bad example, because I don't feel like it's going to look like that at all. So, because they had the regular cloud cakes, I saw the new Groovy cloud cakes, which are, how much are these? $12.99. I think all the Yarn Inspiration cakes are $12.99 at this point. And then once again, I had a 20% off everything else, so this was $10.39 again, and it is on the thin side of a number 4. It honestly looks more like a 3-weight in some areas, but we are going to, I'm going to play with it. We're going to go to the table, we're going to crochet up a swatch. This is, did I tell you the yardage on this? 720. The macchiato cakes has 481 for the macchiato cakes, and those are hand washed, lay flat to dry, which is why it's good for an amigurumi, because who the heck is going to throw an amigurumi in the washing machine? This one does say machine washable and dryable. 100% polyester, 720 yards. Told you everything on that. And then I bought the Skyscapes. And the Skyscapes were, they kept calling to me, and they had some really beautiful like autumn colors as well, like oranges and greens, which was beautiful. Not necessarily my thing. I don't dislike oranges and greens, but I tend to go more what I call pretty colors. So like pinks, aquas, purple, turquoise, like just in that palette range. That's where I kind of live at. I like it there a little bit better than like oranges and greens. But the orange and green almost got me. It was really pretty, and I thought it would be a beautiful Halloween or fall project. But the purple and the green just kept calling to me. And my only fear is because on the label it looks muddy. I don't like that a whole lot. But it's pretty. It's really pretty. It's soft. It reminds me of, I know it's probably going to sound gross to some of you. It reminds me of hair. So, yeah, it feels like a soft head of hair, which I know is going to gross a lot of people out because hair is gross. Okay, it's dead cells. My brain is going faster than my mouth can keep up. So, yeah, this yarn was $8.99 retail. I paid $7.19 because it took 20% off. This is the color purple and green multi because they're super creative with loops and threads yarn. Hand wash cold, non-chlorine bleach when needed. Dry flat, do not iron. Because this yarn is a self-patterning, each ball may look different and vary in the pattern repeat. So that's kind of Premier Puzzle, once again, brings me back to that. It kind of does that where every ball is slightly different, but when you put them together in a project, you can't really tell. This is 78% acrylic and 22% nylon. And again, it has a beautiful halo on it. And halo just means fuzzy. It's just fuzzy. And it's not showing up on camera just how fuzzy it is because my camera is trying to make sense of it. And sometimes technology is not necessarily a good thing when it comes to filming because the camera thinks it's smarter than me. It's like, oh, we're going to blur the rest of the picture out so it looks real clear. But no, that's not what I want. I want accuracy. It's got a beautiful halo on it. You can kind of see it along here if it doesn't blur out. And then last but not least, I got an overpriced crochet hook because I packed nothing. Now, when I went on vacation, I'm like, I'm getting away. I don't want to work. I don't want to do anything that involves me being stressed out. I just want to go and be Jen. I want to play in the water. I want to dance to my favorite music on the beach. I just want to and I did a very good job at that. I did, but I also have anxiety, and crochet calms my anxiety and my nerves. And so I went and bought things to crochet with, which is where the granny square came from, which did in fact calm me down. The amigurumi head was a little too much pressure, which is why we didn't finish it, because I could have made a whole amigurumi in about 2 hours, and I was like, not feeling it. I made a granny square, I'm good. So, this is a Loops and Threads crochet hook. These retail for $7.99, and it is not that great of a hook. It's not horrible, but it's not worth $7.99. I did have a coupon. I only paid $6.40 for this. So, what are the faults with this crochet hook? There is a very prevalent seam where the two pieces of the mold met together. And it's not sanded down, and it's kind of rough. We'll see if we can actually see. And there's a chip out of the rubber right there. You see the seam on both sides. You can feel the seam on both sides. And what I just now discovered, unless you guys see something I don't see, it's not marked. The head, not marked. Oh, is that marked? Is that marked? Maybe it is marked. Can you see that? Hang on. Alright, so the head is marked. I can't see that. I don't have my glasses in here. I cannot see that. And that's one of the things like I don't like about the Chagu knitting needles. Chagu is my favorite knitting needles. Chagu? They're my favorite. They are. I can't see what size they are, because you have to get them in just the right light for that very fine, minute etching to show up. And so you got to roll it in the light and then hope you have your glasses on. So I guess that is marked. I could not see it. I couldn't see it till I put it here and it amplified it on my screen is this big on my camera. That's how big my screen is. It's way smaller than the size of my phone. Like 3 of my screens on my cameras would fit on my phone. That's how, and I still was able to see it. So like you gotta do the trombone thing. Okay, so the hook's not terrible. It reminds me a lot of, and I don't think I have one out. It reminds me of the boy hooks. And yeah, I think they're packed. They are slightly taller than a Woobles hook, if that gives you any perspective. Or this hook came in a crochet kit. One of the amigurumi kits. It's slightly taller than that. Comparison to my favorite of this style hooks, it is much shorter than the dots hooks. So for me, I prefer the longer hooks. My hands are minuscule next to my husband's hands. His hands are enormous. But I don't have small, delicate hands, and the way that I hold my crochet hook, when it hits here too much when I'm crocheting, see that? I get a callus or a blister there, and it is very irritating. But when I hold these, the dots hooks, or like the Omi hooks, which you can get on Amazon, which are also my favorite, they extend out past that point. So I actually prefer the longer hook so that it's not causing irritation right there in my hand, because it's not stabbing me right there. All right, we're gonna go down to the table, and I'm gonna use this hook so you can see what the hook is like, and we're gonna work up a swatch. Now it says 4.5 millimeter for this. This is a 5.5 millimeter, and then it says 4 millimeter for this, and this is 5.5. But I think it'll still be fine because we're gonna test out the hook together with the yarn, so you guys can kind of see. These are not worth $7.99. They're not, especially when you can buy this beautiful thing for $11.99 on Amazon. Free shipping if you have Prime. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let's go to the table and work up some swatches. Alright. Move some stuff out of the way. That's my VIP ticket. Alright. We have a very small space to work with here. So I'm starting with the Groovy cake because it's right here. I don't think this is a 4-weight. I just don't. It might be considered or classified as a 4-weight because of the halo on it. Sometimes they do that. This feels to me very much like a 3-weight. Come on, focus. There we go. It feels like a 3-weight to me. This is, I think that's a 5-weight. I don't know. It might be a 4-weight. It just feels thin to me. And truthfully, this hook is too big. So it's going to be gapey and it's going to have holes. You know what? We're going to use a smaller hook. I want it to look nice. We're going to use 4.5 millimeter. And then I will come back. I will do a different swatch with that, which is regular old acrylic yarn. Because that's what we're going to do. This yarn is very slippery. It is very slippery. If you don't like slippery yarns, stay away from this one. Because I can see I'm going to have problems. It's so, this is like way softer than even like, because it's polyester, this is way softer than even like chenille yarn. I really, really need my glasses. Let me put on my old glasses because they are bifocals and see if, oh, that does help. In fact, it does help. I'm not going to be able to crochet fast with this yarn because it's so slippery. I'm going to slip out of my stitches. And there's nothing worse than getting along and getting a good pace and slipping out. It's just the worst. And yes, there was innuendo in that comment because I'm just being funny. Jennifer. You hear my mom. She always used to, that's the way my mom used to say something. When I said something that was inappropriate or she found offensive, she would go, Jennifer. I hated that. I still to this day hate being called Jennifer. I feel like I'm in trouble. And if you call me Jennifer in the comments, it's okay. That's different than being in person and being like, Jennifer. Jennifer. Leave me alone. My name is Jen. Jenny to my nieces. Alright, so we got a weird little tiny pop of purple right there. I feel like you guys are far away from the camera. So yeah, it's very, very slippery. And I'm just going to do single crochets for this entire swatch because this is a self-patterning yarn, according to the label, according to that sample. Sorry, I had to pause. I heard the garbage man drive by and I remembered we forgot to put the can to the curb. Alright, so now that that's taken care of, I have no idea what I was saying. Something about self-patterning. We're going to do the swatch entirely in single crochets because I am interested to see what the patterning looks like. Is it going to be a weird like just gobbledygook mess? Is it going to be a cool looking patterning yarn? Because I like patterning yarn. We've used them on the channel quite a bit. We've used the Bloom yarn from Premier Yarns. We've used the Nordica from Premier Yarns. And we have learned that the single crochet works the best for that if you're not knitting. Now the only thing with knitting is if you want to knit this you can, but there will be not any stretch. There's no stretch in polyester yarn. And you might get more stretch out of polyester, or not hang on, let me get my brain back in order. There will be more stretch in knitting than there is in crochet, but polyester is not a stretchy yarn, so I don't use it for hats or anything that has to go around your head like that. I would use this for, this would be a beautiful scarf. I think this would be a really nice lovey, or like a little stroller blanket for a baby, for a little kid. Something soft that they can play with and hold on to and rub against their face. Like a wubby. Oh, mommy duties. Welcome home. Chaos begins. And I didn't get up early enough this morning. I was so tired. I was like, I need to sleep in a little bit. I didn't sleep in, actually. I just laid in bed for quite a while. I was exhausted. Had a really amazing date last night. Had a fantastic time, but today, combination of the vacation and coming home and going on a date, I still am real tired, which is why my brain is going faster than my mouth can keep up. Okay, so it's definitely patterning. Whether or not it's going to look nice or not, that remains to be seen. It's really soft though. Why have I been sleeping on these cloud cakes before? No, go eat breakfast. Candy for breakfast, this kid, I tell you what. So, definitely patterning. This video is going to be 18 clips long because apparently I was gone too long. He got off schedule. He doesn't know what he's doing. Trying to get to a different color. It's going orange, purple, orange, purple, orange, purple. Which I'm not upset about. I think the orange and the purple look really pretty next to each other. You're gonna hear my kids in the background. It just is what it is. They don't know how to behave. I'm just gonna go in there and just kick them all out of the house. Just leave, go somewhere. So how's your day going? Oh, see, I skipped a stitch. You having a fantastic morning like I am? And I'm doing it without caffeine, which is about to kill me. Like, it's so bad. Bentley can't get in here, so he's scratching at the door. Okay, so I'm going to say that the patterning is not going to be real clean. It's going to just look like that. Some people are going to hate that. I don't mind it. I think maybe it has a place. I don't know where that place is. It's kind of busy for even me, and that's saying a lot because I like busy yarns. But it feels busy. And this yarn could be used for, it absolutely could be used for amigurumi. It's soft enough. I don't know if it's sturdy enough. Because, like I said, it feels on the thin side. But it's so soft. It's going to be one of those days, guys. That was... that was my husband. Alright. It's gonna be one of those days. I'm gonna try doing double crochet and see what that looks like. I'm just curious to see. And yes, this yarn is very slippery. And I am crocheting way slower than I feel like I have to. Because I really don't want to slip out of my stitches. Oops. You're going to hear the garbage man outside probably. It looks like the orange spot is getting, actually, oh no, maybe not. Looked like the orange spot was going to be bigger. Thanks, garbage man. Alright, so, I mean, I think it looks cooler in double crochet. Let's try another row. Which I never would have thought a self-patterning yarn would look better in double crochet. Now, I'm going to say this because every time I show a Yarnspiration cake, I get the, that's too expensive. I agree. Because I remember when these cakes used to be under $10, and now they're $13. And I don't like that they're $13. And I don't think they're worth $13. And one of my things with the Yarnspiration cakes, or any cake for that matter, I have a really hard time figuring out what to use the cakes for. Because cakes are very frequently self-patterned, highly variegated, or striped yarns. And I love those kinds of yarns, don't get me wrong. But I look at them like, okay, what am I going to make with that? And so they sit on the shelf. And I think a lot of you guys feel the same way. So when you buy a cake and it's $13, you kind of have to know what you're going to make before you buy them. And this yarn, while it's super soft and it's beautiful colors, I only bought one because I have no idea what I'm going to do with this thing. I have no idea what I'm going to make out of it. I don't even know what I would want to make out of it. Oh, look, we got to the burgundy, not burgundy, the berry color. So now it's going to be berry, orange, and purple. I think with the double crochet, it's going to pool more. It looks like the yarn, the color is pooling in a specific area. I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. So I've done 1, 2, this is my third row in double crochet. See how all the orange has pooled in this section and then the purple is pooling on the ends? That is a pooling effect. That drives a lot of people nuts and they hate the way that looks. I think overall, the grand scheme of things, it will look very cool. And the bigger your swatch will be, the less it will pool so much. And something as simple as adding a couple of extra stitches on the end can change the way it pools. What do I think about this yarn? Well, let's see if it frogs. It definitely frogs. Alright, so the frog factor is there. Frogs, that's cool. It has a really beautiful feel to it. And if you want something really, really multicolored for that wild child of yours, or even for you and the wild child that lives inside you, this is a cool yarn. It's a cool effect. It doesn't look like, it looks like it's gonna stripe. It ain't gonna stripe. It's gonna look like hodgepodge. It might do some of this, but right now it's just looking kind of all over the place. It really does. It looks very, like, what is the word? My brain is saying mosaic, but that's not it. It looks pixelated. It looks like it's going to work up pixelated. And some people are going to hate that. I don't mind it. I'm not a huge fan of it. Probably won't buy more of these. It's soft. What am I going to make out of it? I have no idea. And that is something that you need to factor in. If you're going to buy something, even if it's pretty, and it feels so soft on the shelf, you need to take into consideration it's $13. And you need to take into consideration, what the heck am I going to make out of that? Because it is so soft. I don't know how this is going to hold up over a long time because it feels delicate because it's so soft. And it is very, very pixelated all over the place with the coloring. So there's my review of the, once again, that is the Groovy Cloud Cake. Alright, now I'm going to work on the Skyscapes yarn, which is, to refresh your brain, is 78% acrylic, 22% nylon. Very soft, feels like hair. It reminds me of hair. Almost feels alpaca-y. This could be a faux alpaca. And if you know, you know. This says it's a 4-weight. This looks bulky. And I am absolutely going to use the loops and threads hook for that because I don't want to compress this yarn at all. And this says to use a 4.5mm crochet hook. I ain't used, look at that. Here's how I test to see if a hook and a yarn are compatible, okay? I put the yarn in where the throat is. And if the yarn fits all the way up in there, like if I pull it like that, I'm like, okay, if this part comes past the yarn, it's gonna work. If the yarn is so thin it disappears in there, that's not gonna be a good fit. Okay, so because this yarn is very like fluffed out, it says it's a 4-weight, it looks like a 5. I'm going to go up to a 5.5mm crochet hook because look at how much that sticks out from the bottom of the throat. Okay, barely fits in there, which means the stitches are going to get compressed and you're going to lose all this airiness. So I'm going to go to a 4.5 or 5.5mm and see, that just works a little better. That is a way you can test. If you don't know what your yarn is or what you're going to use with it, that's a way to test. Alright, now slip stitch. Yeah, I would not use a smaller hook than this because you're going to compress those stitches. You're going to lose the airiness of this yarn. And this really does feel like hair. It feels like hair. It feels like a braid. Alright, I'm going to do half double crochets with this one. Some of you are going to hate this because it feels like hair. I'm going to be real gross and I'm going to tell you what this feels like, okay? If you have long hair and a bathtub or a sink drain, this feels like if you pulled the hair out of the drain. It's not soft and... I mean, it's soft. It's not... That's not what I was going to say. It's not rough. It's not scratchy, itchy. It feels like hair. I mean, it's not wet, but can you imagine? This feels like hair. I feel like I'm crocheting my hair. It's a little weird. I don't know if I like this yarn. It's pretty. But even right here, like it's purple and green, right? What the heck color is this? Puce? Because the green and the pinky red is like, it's like, ugh. That's what I was worried about with this yarn. I was worried I should have only bought one. I'm just glad it wasn't $15. I mean, it was $14 for both of them, but I guess it's worth the review, right? I'm not going to buy more of this yarn. It feels too much like hair. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're new here, you don't know. I have really bad sensory issues. Certain textures cause like a cringe factor in my body. My battery gave me no warning and just died. Oh, editing this video and putting all these clips together is going to be so much fun. So if there's a bunch of like where it just skips, it's because I had to stop. I had to start again. Alright. And I have no idea what I was saying. Oh, sensory issues. This is mildly irritating between my fingers. Specifically here and here. Because that's where it's real sensitive. I also have a form of eczema that is an immune system reaction. So certain chemicals or stuff that's used to process yarn will cause a immune system reaction in my body. And I tell you these things not because I'm bragging about how amazing my skin is, but I'm not complaining. I say that because if you are like me and you have sensory issues, sensory processing disorder, anything like that, I don't know if you're going to like this yarn. And I'm just giving you, that is my opinion on that. If you also have skin allergies or sensitivity, or you cannot stand the way alpaca feels, or if the hair coming out of the drain in the bathtub grosses you out, you're not going to like this yarn. Because to me, that's exactly what it reminds me of, is hair coming out of a drain. Granted, it's dry hair, it's not wet. It still feels like the hair coming out of your brush, or, you know, that's what it feels like. It's kind of grody. And as predicted, the color is very, very muddy. This kind of reminds me of a poorly thought out spun yarn, where the colors get all muddy and like, it's almost like gray now. It's not pretty. I mean, if you like really dull colors, you might like this, but look at how muddy that looks. You can't see the I mean, you kind of see the purple. You can't see the green. It just looks like a gray with purple splotched on it. I'm gonna move to double crochet. I don't like this yarn, you guys. I'd save your money. The colors are pretty on the shelf. It feels pretty on the shelf. When you're working with it, it feels like hair and it's irritating between my fingers. I would leave this one alone. The crochet hook is not terrible. It's not worth $7.99. This is kind of along the lines of like a Hobby Lobby $3 hook, to be real blunt with you. I, again, would not, if I had the choice to go back, I would probably have found a Hobby Lobby somewhere and got one of their crochet hooks instead for half the price. $7.99 for that cheapo hook. But it's not a bad hook, and they come in really pretty colors. They're almost and this yarn is tangling on itself. The crochet hook is not bad when you're in a pinch and you need a hook. The price should probably be about half though. And the hooks at Hobby Lobby are just as good. Sorry, had to say goodbye. My son-in-law is going home. He had we had a good time with him this weekend. I really like hanging out with him. He's just a cool person. He actually danced with me on the beach, which was fun. I leaned over and I asked my daughter, I was like, do you think he'll dance with me? She's like, yeah. So I grabbed his hand. He danced with me. And it made me happy. It really did. Because if they ever do get married, I'm going to be a weird mother-in-law. I know this about myself. But I love that boy. I don't even care. His mom's been real super nice to me. It's just been really cool. It's been really cool. Ponyo! Don't cry! Your mom will be right back. She's also upset that he's leaving because she thinks that's her daddy. Yeah, this yarn's just okay. And the color is not pretty enough. It feels like hair. Crochet hook is okay, not worth the $7.99. Even with the 20% off coupon, I'm like, no. And now we are going to look at the swatch. And listen to my wrist pop. Worked up. It feels like alpaca worked up. It really does. If you can't use alpaca and you like the way alpaca feels, you might like this yarn. It does feel like a swatch of alpaca. If you handed me alpaca and you handed me this, I might not be able to tell the difference. I mean, it's got like almost a lotiony feel to it that alpaca does not have. But what did I say? This is acrylic and nylon. It definitely doesn't feel like 100% alpaca, but like it feels like an alpaca blend. And if you like that, you're gonna like this. And if you like the way that the coloring looks, you're gonna love this. I don't like the coloring; it's muddy to me, because from a distance, that looks gray. Maybe like purpley gray. But what I really want is the colors to separate a little more, and I don't think that that's going to happen. I just think it's going to be more mud than anything, and you might get a slight variation. Like if I'm looking at this with my eyes, this is more purple and this is more gray. I can't see that on camera at all, and maybe you can. It's just... it's okay. Does it frog? Not very easily. Yeah, no. This is not going to be something that's going to frog very easily. So if you're doing a complicated stitch or anything like that, I wouldn't do that, because it does not want to frog really easily. It's an okay yarn. I'm going to say it's probably a really good alpaca alternative for those of us who say, I'm going to tell you, I can't use alpaca. Alpaca makes my nose itch really bad, and it makes my fingers itchy. And this yarn makes me itchy too. But if you're one of those people that you have a problem with alpaca, but you really want to use something that looks like or feels like alpaca, this might be a good alternative for you. And it's not horribly expensive. It is $7.99, and with the 20% off coupon that every member of Michael's can get almost every day, it's only $6.40 per ball. But it's muddy, and there you have it. Alright, that is my review of my purchases from Michael's. I showed you a book, I showed you a couple different yarns, I showed you a crochet hook. Thank you so much for watching this one. Give me your opinions if you've used any of these yarns that I've showed you, or that crochet book. I want you to put opinions in the comments below, and the reason I ask you guys to do that is because it helps other people that's coming to my channel gather more of a rounded opinion and not just go, well, Cinnamon Stitches said. So I'm not going to do that. I am one person, and you may have a totally different opinion than me, and I would love to hear your opinions in the description box, or not the description box. Comment below. You guys know how to do it. I'm trying to explain something to you. My brain is like, no, go lay down. You're tired. Everyone be kind in the comments, but do, in fact, let other people know your opinion so that they can make a well-rounded decision on whether they want to purchase any of these products before. If you disagree with me, I welcome that. Just be kind and mindful about my opinion and your opinion, and I always will respect your opinion. I ask that you do the same, and with that, I will let you go, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!